हेलो स्टूडेंट्स, कैसे हो आप? चाय पी लो। तो आज हम सीखेंगे कि हम गैल्वेनोमीटर को कैसे पढ़ाई कर सकते हैं। ठीक है, तो ये है गैल्वेनोमीटर। गैल्वेनोमीटर का ये जो है पिछला हिस्सा है, ये सामने, और ये आजू बाजू वाला हिस्सा है ना। तो आज हम आपको दिखाएंगे कि कैसे इस गैल्वेनोमीटर को हम लोग सीख सकते हैं और इसको कैसे हम पढ़ सकते हैं। ठीक है, सबसे पहले हमें इसको खोलना पड़ेगा। जैसे कि आप देख सकते हैं यहाँ पे 2 स्क्रूज़ हैं, यहाँ पे भी स्क्रूज़ हैं। तो इन स्क्रूज़ में जब आप खोलोगे तो यहाँ पे आपको वायर डालनी है। यहाँ पे आप वायर डालेंगे, उस वायर में से बैटरी से करंट आएगा, करंट जाएगा अंदर वायर के, और गैल्वेनोमीटर अपना करंट दिखाएगा। तो अभी फ़िलहाल तो यहाँ पे वायर्स नहीं हैं, है ना। तो इन वायर्स को जो नहीं है तो हम इन्हें निकाल देते हैं, इन स्क्रूज़ को। इनके में ज़रूरत नहीं है अभी फ़िलहाल। ठीक है। ओह, गिर गया, कोई बात नहीं, बाद में ढूंढ लेंगे उसको। फिर आप देख सकते हो कि साइड में इसको स्क्रूज़ हैं यहाँ पे, जो मैंने कुछ ही देर पहले तोड़ दिए हैं, है ना। यहाँ पे तोड़ दिए हैं इनको, क्योंकि खुल नहीं रहे थे, बहुत पुराना इंस्ट्रूमेंट है, खुल नहीं रहा था, तो मैंने उनको तोड़ दिए। तो ये जो देखिए यहाँ पे, इसको मैं निकाल देता हूँ। ठीक है, हाँ। तो अब ये हो गया ओपन थोड़ा सा। तो इनको जो मैंने तोड़ दिया था अभी, इनको मैं ऐसे, अगर ये टूटे हुए नहीं होते तो इस स्क्रू ड्राइवर से यहाँ पे इनको घुमा के ऐसे हम निकाल सकते बच्चों। ठीक है, लेकिन इनको मैंने ऐसे करके ऐसे तोड़ दिया है। ठीक है, तो अभी जो तोड़ दिया है इसको तोड़ ही देते हैं फिर। हाँ जी, जो आप देख सकते हैं यहाँ पे जी नामक ये जो वस्तु है, जी नामक, जी फॉर तो गैल्वेनोमीटर होता है ना। यहाँ पे देखिए, यहाँ पे जी लिखा है, जी फॉर है अपना गैल्वेनोमीटर। हियर लेट मी फोकस, वेरी गुड। ओके, सो वी हैव टू स्टडी व्हाट दिस गैल्वेनोमीटर इज़ मेड अप ऑफ। ओके, तो जैसे कि आप देख सकते हैं यहाँ पे एक स्केल लगाई हुई है। इस स्केल को हम इस स्केल को निकाल देते हैं। ठीक है, तो लेट अस यूज़ दिस स्क्रू ड्राइवर्स to open this scale, because right now we don't need it. Oh, the screwdrivers. Let me check with another screwdriver. Let me pause. Yes students, I have come with the tester because it has a smaller mouth. So let me open this like that, and let me open this from here. What am I doing? I am opening the scale. There it goes. As you can see, these screws are sticking to the surface because there is a magnet inside. So I'm going to tell you what that magnet does. Right? So this is our instrument. Let us remove the entire assembly. Okay? So there is 2 screws here, which we'll try to remove. Yeah, there you go. I'll remove these 2 screws in the smaller screwdriver. There you go. तो जो है दोस्तों, अब हमने स्क्रू ड्राइवर को भी इस्तेमाल करके ये स्क्रूज़ निकाल दिए हैं। अब इन वायर्स की हमें ज़रूरत है, लेकिन इनको मैं यहाँ से देता हूँ काट। ठीक है, आई विल कट दिस फ्रॉम हियर। शाबाश, कट दिस फ्रॉम हियर, बहुत शाबाश। इसको हम रख देते हैं साइड में। ये है अपना गैल्वेनोमीटर, यही है जो अपने गैल्वेनोमीटर के अंदर होता है, और ये उसके ऊपर लगा दी जाती है ऐसे स्केल, ताकि जितना भी डिफ्लेक्शन हो ये स्केल पे हमें रीड करने को मिल जाए, पढ़ने को, देखने को, सीखने को मिल जाए, है ना। इसको रख देते हैं बाजू में। अब इसे गौर से देखिएगा, क्या है ये? कहते हैं हम इसे गैल्वेनोमीटर। ठीक है, सो दिस इज़ मेड अप ऑफ, इनसाइड दिस केसिंग दैट यू सी नो, इनसाइड दिस केसिंग This casing, these cylinders here, cylindrical discs, they are to hold the assembly together. Their entire job is to just hold the assembly together. The main thing is inside this. So you can see this part that you can see here. This is a magnet. As you can see, it is attracting magnetic substances. Inside there is a horseshoe magnet, right? So you know what is a horseshoe magnet, right? It's of the shape of a horseshoe, correct? ऐसा वाला horseshoe magnet होता है. So the horseshoe magnet has pole pieces. It has one north pole here, and then it comes like this. It has a south pole here, correct? So I should have brought a paper also. Hold on. तो जैसे कि आप देख सकते हो बच्चों, मैं लेके आया हूँ एक कलम, पेन, ठीक है, और एक कागज़, पेपर. On this I am going to draw what you call a horseshoe magnet. So this is the type of horseshoe magnet that is used inside the galvanometer, right? Of course the diagram is not very nice. Okay, this will be, let's say, the north pole. This will be the south pole, right? This horseshoe magnet is there inside these discs that you can see. That's your magnet. This is your magnet, right? This type. Inside these pole pieces, this is the north pole, this is the south pole. Inside these pole pieces you will have soft iron so that it allows magnetic field to pass through it. It does not retain a lot of magnetic field. Hard magnets will retain a lot of magnetization inside. Okay, soft magnets will not retain a lot of magnetization inside, but they will allow smooth flow of magnetic field through them. So like this kind, there will be soft iron pieces which will almost enclose into a cylinder. All right. Inside that, these cylinders here, a disc is suspended, right? It is held together by, you can see here. This is the assembly. Here, there is a hook here. Yes. This hook is attached to the outer casing, and this hook holds together through this small rod inside. It holds together this whole assembly and the small cylinder that you can see inside. The small cylinder, when I move this, can you see the cylinder inside? Yeah, that small cylinder, it holds together. On top of that small cylinder, here I'll show you. This is the cylinder which is suspended. Okay. On top of that small cylinder rests a coil. This coil that you can see. This coil, right? This coil, which you can see when I move this. Here, this coil. Yeah. That coil which has copper wires wound around it. The idea is on one end of the copper coil, on one end of this copper coil, so there are springs also inside. There is one spring here, flat spiral spring that you can see. There is one spring here which is conductive, this small spring, this one spring, and there is one spring at the bottom. There is another spring at the bottom. These are conductive springs. They conduct electricity through them. Through those springs, you connect wires. So this wire is connected to one spring, and the upper wire is connected to the other spring. Okay. So through these wires, current will flow through the spring and then through the coil. Then through this coil that you can see. When the current flows through this coil, it produces a torque. So what is torque? Torque is nothing but moment of force. So force times the perpendicular distance between, suppose you have a cylindrical body. It rotates about this center of axis. of rotation, axis of rotation, and you apply some force in this direction, force, right? If you apply force in this direction, and if it is causing the body to rotate, then that force multiplied by this distance, let's say r, force into r, F into r, will give you torque. Okay? Torque is nothing but moment of force. When you apply a force and it causes the body to rotate, then that is your torque. Right? So when the current flows through this coil, and it is already in the presence of the in the presence of external magnetic field that is provided by this horseshoe magnet. So you know that moving charges Q, they experience a force in the presence of external magnetic field. F is equal to Q V cross B, where V is the velocity of the moving charge, B is the external magnetic field. Okay, and the force experienced is given by F equals Q V cross B. In the same way, if F is due to current carrying conductor, then F is given by I integral dl cross B. I integral dl cross B, where dl is a small current element of the wire. Let us say this is the wire through which the current I is flowing. You take a small current element, okay? Because of this small current element, a magnetic field is produced, right? Or in the presence of external magnetic field, this current element will experience a force. Got it? And that force which this current element experiences in the presence of the external magnetic field is given by F is equal to I dl cross B. And the torque that is produced, torque will be just T is equal to R cross F. Got it? This force is produced because of external magnetic field when a current is flowing through the wire. And torque, if that force is causing the body to rotate, then a torque is produced. That torque is the force which is produced because of this external magnetic field when a current is flowing. Its cross product with the distance of between the force and the center of the rotating body. So in the same way, when this current flows through this coil, it will produce a torque, because we have not allowed any other motion of the coil possible. We only allow circular motion of the coil possible because of the design of the instrument. That torque will cause the body to rotate here. That torque will cause the body to rotate. Okay, and that torque in terms of the number of turns, okay, and in terms of the magnetic field, it is given by T equals B, which is the magnetic flux density, right, times area, which is the coil area, the effective coil area. Coil, what is its area? Cross-sectional area. Then multiplied by the current which is flowing through the coil, multiplied by the number of turns. Got it? So torque is equal to magnetic field times the area times the current times N. All these can be chosen depending on how much current you want your instrument to measure. Got it? So you can set a maximum torque. T maximum, you choose B, you choose A, you choose N, that will depend on I maximum. So T maximum is K times I maximum. Okay, or I can write T, torque is directly proportional to I. Understood? So as I increases, torque will increase and hence the body will rotate. Then you can calibrate the instrument based on what is the maximum torque that you have calibrated it for, meaning what is the maximum current that can flow through the instrument. Accordingly, it will show that deflection. Okay? But if that torque is produced when the current is flowing, this coil, this coil here should have continuously deflected, no? Should have continuously gone in one direction. But then these springs that you see, these springs here, they provide a counter to the electric torque that is produced. These springs, they provide a mechanical torque. Yeah, a balancing force. So when this pointer moves on one side because of the current flowing through the coil, the springs will apply an equal and opposite force on the other side. At every given point when the coil is rotating, when the pointer is moving, this coil spring will, two springs on both sides, these springs, here there is one spring here, there is one spring here, these springs will provide equal and opposite torque on this counter. So that force is always balanced, and hence at any given point, this pointer, let us say if some current is flowing through the coil, it will deflect the pointer to 10 divisions, but an equal and opposite torque is produced because of the springs, and this pointer will stay steady at 10th division unless the current is decreased. When the current is decreased, this will come down, because at every point when this is being deflected, an equal and opposite torque is produced by the springs. So it is balanced and the pointer remains steady. Understood? Yep. So as the current decreases, the torque, the opposing force by the springs also decreases, and then it comes to zero when there is no current flowing. This is the resting position. Okay. There is a small zero adjust. So sometimes what happens is these springs are taken to be as delicate as possible, so that you don't want the springs, if the springs are really hard, and a lot of current flows through them, then you don't want them to permanently deform, right? You don't want the spring constant to change permanently. So they are chosen in such a way that they are very, very soft and very, very thin, the material, so that they don't permanently deform. Okay, that's why this material is very thin. The spring almost never permanently deforms. Then sometimes if it changes a lot, then you have this Y-shaped membrane here, Y-shaped member here, got it? This one. This will adjust your zero, got it? If it is slightly different from not at zero, this Y-shaped member will adjust your zero. So what we do is we keep this on top here. This is the casing, this is the external casing, like that, right? And there is a screw given here, screw type thing that fits right exactly into the Y-shaped member. This one I have not fitted properly, but that fits here. That thing fits here properly. Okay, and as you move that, the Y-shaped member will move, and here as you move this, when you move this, the Y-shaped member will move, this one will move, and it will adjust your zero on this scale. It will adjust your zero on this scale. Is that clear? And accordingly you can read it. So this is the path for the current to flow. From one wire, current comes in like this, enters the spring. From the spring it goes to the coil, and then comes from the spring below and goes and passes through the galvanometer. And when the current is passing through the galvanometer, it will deflect the galvanometer because the torque produced in accordance with this equation. Right? I hope this is clear. So this horseshoe magnet is producing a constant magnetic field, this one. And this is pre-decided. Okay, I hope this is clear. Then there are counterweights. So you can see that this needle is suspended in one direction. So do you see cranes? One big crane is there, right? So this crane is suspended like this in one direction. That crane is supposed to lift very heavy objects. But if it is lifting very heavy objects, on the other side the crane should be balanced, no? So you must have seen when the bridges and all are being constructed, or big buildings, this crane has a big box here in which you can keep counterweights. Got it? You keep counterweights here which are very heavy, that at any point will balance this weight here and also this length of the rod. So it is like perfectly balanced always because the counterweight that you put here. So if you want to lift very, very heavy weights, put a lot of counterweight here. If you want to lift less weights, then put less counterweight here. So similarly, you see that this rod is behaving like a crane, no? So this length is a lot, it becomes heavy, so it could fall anytime here like that, right? It could fall like this, depress like this. But so that it does not happen, you have counterweights here. So this is one counterweight, right here, this one. This is heavier. Wait, let me adjust the focusing here. This is slightly heavier than the wire, if not the same weight, right? And similarly you have counterweights on the side also. Here there is a small counterweight, you can see on this side, and on this side also there is a small counterweight. Got it? These counterweights will keep the needle in position and not let it collapse. Okay? So what you saw today is called as PMMC, which is permanent magnet moving coil galvanometer. Permanent magnet moving coil galvanometer is a PMMC, is this setup that we saw today. Okay, we did the unboxing, in other words breaking of the galvanometer and saw what it is made up of. Sorry. So you can see that it has a permanent horseshoe magnet. Because of this permanent horseshoe magnet, it is called as a PMMC arrangement. Okay, and the movement that it produces is called as D'Arsonval movement. D'Arsonval movement or D'Arsonval movement, right? Whichever way you call it. The correct way is D'Arsonval movement. This instrument which we saw today measures only DC currents. These are DC measuring instruments. So your first chapter, you must have seen it in the syllabus. Tomorrow I'll be discussing properly. DC measuring instruments. Okay, and the galvanometer is the most basic and the most important DC current measuring instruments. All other instruments are based on this design, right? On a simple galvanometer. I hope this is clear. So what you have to keep in mind is the horseshoe magnet, the soft iron pieces which almost enclose into a cylinder to provide constant magnetic field from all directions. One cylinder which is pivoted exactly in the middle, exactly in the center of this magnetic pole pieces, and one coil which is suspended above the cylinder, this coil, and springs which will provide a counter force or a counter torque to keep the needle in place when it is deflecting, and counterweights to the needle. Let's say this is the needle. To this needle, counterweights on three sides. This is the basic construction, mechanism and working of a PMMC galvanometer, permanent magnet moving coil galvanometer. Okay, so I'll stop the video here. Thank you so much. If you have any doubts, please feel free to ask on WhatsApp or even message on Classroom. Thank you.